Welcome to Career Pro Tips by Life in the Green Room. Life in the Green Room is all about helping busy professionals who want more from their career. We provide action-oriented, tool-based plans and programs to help you take action and start driving your career where you want to go. Career Pro Tips is a weekly video series where we dive into one specific topic or question and give you strategies, tactics, and tips that you can apply right away if that's a topic that's really relevant to you. My name is Heather Green McLinn, and I'm the Vice President of Marketing at a Fortune 500 company. I have used these tips and strategies, and I have seen my peers, my colleagues, and my team use them. I know that they will help you start taking ownership of your career. Welcome to episode number 32 of Career Pro Tips. This week is all about your health and work. It's the new year, and so it seems like a fitting topic, and it's something that I continually need to revisit. So I thought I would dive into some ways to think about being healthy at work if this is an area where you've struggled. So for me, this is something that I have to keep learning over and over again, and it is just super important. I am going after this big, exciting life, and in order to do that, I really need a lot of energy. In order for me to get the most out of my career and my life, the energy I need, I can't be feeling sluggish, means I have to eat healthy pretty consistently. And sometimes at work, when we get stressed and really busy, everything kind of falls apart. So I wanted to talk about ways to kind of fight through this and try to make your best choices at work to be healthy and consistent with the life you're trying to lead. For me, I think the best way to tackle this is to really divide your days into categories. So I'm going to talk about the 3 categories that my days fall into and the strategies I take for each of them. But for you, if you're trying to figure out how to be healthy at work, I would start with categorizing your days. They may be nothing like mine, and then figure out what to do for each one of those days. So the first kind of day that I have is non-travel standard work days. So this is when I'm going to be in my office most of the day. I'm going to have meetings, be on lots of phone calls, lots of video chats. What am I going to do on those days? The second kind of day I have are all-day meetings. And so this is when I will be in my regular home office at work, but I will be tied up for 6 or 8 hours of the day in meetings with people in a boardroom or whatever. And the third kind of day I have is travel. This covers 90% of my days. So if I know what I'm going to do for these 3 types of days, I'm going to be all set. The 2 things that I really need to think about are my meal planning and my exercise plan. My exercise plan, I do okay. I typically try to map that out at the beginning of the week. So what I'm going to really talk about is how do I think about food and energy in those 3 types of days. So the first type of day I have is a standard non-travel day where I'm going to be in my office and in meetings. On those days, I really try to pack my lunch as most often as I can. I know for me, I have a really hard time making a strong decision once I get to the cafeteria. So I try to bring a salad or maybe a frozen meal, or if we cooked over the weekend, I will bring in leftover roasted veggies or meatloaf or whatever we happen to have. But I bring everything I'm going to need for the day. I bring an extra pod to make in the little kitchenette area we have so I can have another cup of coffee. I will bring any snacks that I want. I will bring a LaCroix to drink. I will literally bring everything that I can think of that I'm going to need that day to try to avoid going down to the cafeteria where I know I have a big weakness and will end up with chicken tenders and French fries and something that will make me feel gross afterwards, even though it's super delicious. So that's what I typically do on a day where I'm going to be in the office all day. The second kind of day I mentioned that I have is a day where I'm in all-day meetings. This one is a lot tougher for me because I don't always feel confident and comfortable enough to pack my lunch. I don't know what lunch they're going to provide. And I also, even if I can get around lunch, because that's a small piece of it, the snacks are what drives me crazy. They will usually have granola bars and chips or candy or who knows what else. And so for me, I at least try to pack my snacks. I have some work to do in this area. I could definitely make some improvements, but at least if I bring in fruit or a granola bar that I choose that I'm happy with, I'm going to step in the right direction of making a healthy choice while I'm at work. The third kind of day I have is travel. This is definitely the hardest one for me. I have worked really hard at this, and in the past few months, I've become pretty comfortable with my strategies in an airport. So I used to have this thought where, hey, I'm traveling, it's like vacation, I may as well get red Swedish fish and other garbage food. And I really have stopped that. But once I get beyond the airport, it has been tougher for me. One thing I definitely need to work on in the new year with my travel is taking more snacks with me, because what I have found is between meetings and travel and delays and stuff, I often end up going really, really long stretches of time without eating. And for me, when that happens, I want to eat all the food, all of it, whenever I have time to do it again. So if I can eat some snacks, hopefully I can prevent the giant binge overeat that I have. And then the second piece is, how do I do better when we have group dinners? How do I make better choices? How do I think about when food's brought in for lunch? So I have some travel coming up this year, and I'm really going to give it some thought and saying, okay, how can I plan better to what I'm eating by myself sometimes, which happens on the road? Sometimes even then I'm making poor choices. So I really, really want to hone in my strategies about saying, okay, pack more snacks. When I'm eating by myself, we're going to eat something healthy. And if it has to be fast food, then at least make it a Subway or something like that. And helping me to plan a little better around group meals and dinners and places where the lunches are brought in. So for me, health and work are synonymous. I cannot separate them, so I have to figure out the best way to have healthy strategies at work. On my exercise plan, which I did mention earlier, I do typically plan it ahead of time. And if I'm going to be traveling, I plan to work out at the hotel. Sometimes it's in my room, sometimes I go down to the gym, but I don't use that as an excuse to not get any workouts in. And I really sometimes need that, because you woke up and feeling ready to tackle the day if you didn't sleep well in the hotel, or maybe you were out late with the dinner. I really do try to do that. I think I do an okay job there. I think where I sometimes let myself off the hook is when I'm traveling, I'll say, oh, we just do a 20-minute workout, which is fine. Absolutely better than nothing. But I don't want to do that all the time. When I have a lot of travel back to back, I could end up having weeks where I don't get any of really long or more intense workouts in. So I know for me, it is not in my DNA to just make a healthy choice out of the gate. I wish it was, but it's really not. So I'm going to have to take the time to plan. I like planning. Sometimes in the area of my health, I just say, oh, I've planned so much for every other piece, I just need a break. But I'm trying to level up this year. And so I'm going to try to take time each week to plan how I'm going to be healthy at work so I can be the most productive that I can. I really believe that I'm trying to get more done in an hour than anybody else. I know that sounds ridiculous, and there are absolutely days where this is a 100% aspirational view and I am just slogging through. But there are days where I feel very confident I'm getting more done than most people in a chunk of time, and I want more of that. And in order to get more of that, I need to get healthier and more consistent at work. So these are the tips that I have used and the areas that I'm also working on. I've tried to show you both sides. I would love to know how you think about being healthy at work. Leave me a comment below or send me a note on what you have done to help keep your healthy habits going strong when work and life get crazy. Until next week, here's to owning your career journey.